Okay, we'll be up and running in 1 second. Got that, got that, got that. Good day, Ross Jason Boehm Live. To start off, I'd like to start it this way. We're going to put up a little quick video. Okay, oops. Here we go. And this is how our government of Canada acts towards us. The government of Canada is Indiana Jones. We're the people with the sword. This is how they treat it with laws, ethics, human rights, and with needles. How law enforcement does it to us. Just like you saw there. Exactly what they do to us. Okay? I have this INVEGA webpage that everybody knows about that is on this. I'll just make it a little bigger. Hopefully it'll work. Alright. There we go. My INVEGA webpage. You can see it right there. I'm going to scroll through it a bit. My INVEGA webpage has all the information from, I guess, how many people we have on there now. It says 67 members, have people from New Zealand, Germany, Manitoba, United States, all over the place, India, and China. They leave their information, ask me questions. I can't answer the same questions over and over again. It's really painful to do so. So that's the starting of this INVEGA update as well. This one's about my human rights violations and my case against the College of Doctors. How do I say this again? College of Physicians and Surgeons, not doctors. Same thing. College of British Columbia. They didn't want to do anything about it, so they handed me a piece of paper and said, here, now you have to appeal it with the Health Professional Review Board, which you hand them all the exact same information as you had before because they have you all worked up as well. And then they string you along for another 2-3 months as well. Sorry, it's unethical to go and touch your face while you're on the air and whatnot as well. So this is what I'm going to do. So that's my INVEGA page. You can't see me right now because of this thing here. We're going to make it a little smaller as well. We're going to move it over the side for now. Okay, now you got me. Like I said, Ross Jason Boehm Live. I got my paperwork here from the Health Professional Review Board. And their decision again saying everything the college did was fair and just. Well, how can it be fair and just and proper? Yep, their information is correct, but they violated human rights. Human rights of CCH.org says, and our human rights. They have no right to throw you into detainment, inject you with medication that's going to harm you. Medical ethics says it will harm you. You can't do it. Well, it puts on too much obesity, loses your sex drive, depletes your testosterone, male or female, causes great depression in life, and wow, what else is there to do? You're detained in a room or wherever you are, depressed, you can't do any physical activities. And here, I stated this to them, and all they want to do is say, he has an impairment of sexual functions, an impairment of mental functions as well. And including weight gain on top of that. They left out physically disabled. They didn't want to talk about wage compensation, past or future as well. Just like an ICBC car crash, if you're out of work, you can't work, make money, and be assaulted. It seems we have crimes of genocide happening in Canada. A Somalia affair, a Vancouver tasering, and a Victoria bombing incident or attempt, where medical practice, the RCMP or police force and military are psychologically assaulting people in mind games, torture, over and over again. It doesn't matter where you go, it's some type of an act. You get off meds, there's a guy named Frank that yells and screams at you that you need psych meds again. Because, hey, somebody left a cell phone on his window ledge, he's right by the front door. Reg is the only guy that was sitting out there, thought it was his, and he sprays this stuff like urine and it makes you panic. Big whoopee-doo. I said I didn't try to steal it. I was taking it down to Reg's. You need fucking meds, blah, blah, blah. And Reg's boyfriend or buddy who he lives with, they have different beds, they're not boyfriends, says the same thing. And did for months after that. Yeah, then 2-3 other people do it. The same fucking thing. Excuse my language again. It's a little annoying. An acting guild. You never know what to say or do when this is going on. The cops show up, you say human rights violations, I just got off meds, I'm being assaulted by this guy. Indecent act. Doesn't do anything at all. He's done it to 6 other people. You can look at my playlist, BC Housing or Comox Valley incidences, it's in there as well, or just about the Comox Valley, Vancouver, British Columbia. Just like Jay Phillips, all caught on film. It's already proven fact that these doctors violated human rights. They allowed me to be detained. They believed the RCMP's prejudgment and false news and accusations. They believed the accusations of a step mother or a biological father that, or stepmother that, or I mean real mother, that I was violent, because it says violent towards his mother in here, violent towards his ex-girlfriend. Which ex-girlfriend? I've had Christy, Deborah, Nola, Bree, Barb, Kim. Those are just some of them. All a couple years apart, ever since high school. And then there's a few others on top of that. Like for 5 months or 8 months. Only lived with one. That would have had to be Bree. Because Nola left within the first week. Barb lived with her a couple weeks because she wanted to get out of Merville. And Kim, I stayed with her because she wanted me to stay with her. We didn't live together. I asked her if you wanted to move in and be roommates. She didn't want to be roommates. She was taking her master's psychiatry in Saskatchewan and Saskatoon at that time. Or thesis, I should say. I think she passed. She was teaching the last time I saw her, a year later. We broke up. I think she went back to her ex-boyfriend who was becoming a lawyer in Edmonton at the University of Alberta. So I was just a boy toy for her maybe. But she was a beautiful woman as well as they are. They were just psychologically different than me. They saw greener grass on the other side. I don't think I was ever violent to any of them. I never put them in the hospital or gave them a bruise on their face or played any mind games with them at all. I was straightforward. Same with my mother. Tell her to quit slapping in my face, grab her wrist and tell her to stop. That's not violence. Violence is putting chemicals in somebody's food they don't know, lying to them, misleading them, slapping in the face, not paying money back that you borrowed and so forth. It all follows under family violence. Under family violence, a doctor also falls under that for genital manipulation / hormone manipulation, because your hormones are part of your genitals, and messing up with the brain. Insults, degradations, harms, lying, misleading, and so forth. Breach of trust of a trustworthy figure. On the street, a doctor, nurse, police officer, if you're not wearing a badge or a notification of who you are, just like in the military, ranking stripes, we would never know who you were. You're just a person in the world. Human rights will tell you that as well. Your job title isn't anything in the court of law. It's, did you break the law? Did you assault somebody? An assault is anything that harms somebody, and that's what it states. Okay? Anything that harms is a human right violation and a law, according to the Canadian Criminal Code Book. The right to self-defense, at home or abroad. A terrorist, at home or abroad, harmed physically or financially. That's right. A foreigner, a permanent resident, a landed immigrant, a non-Canadian citizen. Anyone who harms you at home or abroad. Any permanent resident can get thrown out of the country if they commit a crime like assault, robbery, if the judge says they have to for violently harming people because they have a problem with the country they live in. They think they're too rich or whatnot. I'm not babbling on, I'm speaking the truth. Just gonna see if anybody's left a message. 1 second. Nope, nothing yet. But we're live, it says. And everything, it looks healthy. Got a monitor there and my main display one over here. So, and then my OBS studio that I go off of. I've tried to talk to my lawyer who I had for uttering threats and mischief, who got those tossed out, and mischief or uttering threats, they wanted to have this procedure done to me, which they threw out because it was a human right violation, I understand, or didn't have enough to go by. Or wanted to do it another way, so they didn't have to go through the courts. Well, they got their way. They assaulted me another way. It took from 2008 to 2012 to get me thrown in the hospital. Live. Hey, I have never been on steroids in my life. You don't have a blood test or a urine test with it. You won't find it in a blood test. You won't find it in a urine test. Okay? They took a blood test. They took a urine test. They took the blood test without me knowing while passed out after they gave me a needle. Too much blood. That's why my penis shrunk. Excuse my languages. That's right. God made us all the same. The only body parts men and women have different are a penis and a vagina. Men can get gynecomasculus, meaning it's a gland. They have the same thing in milk as well, supposedly. That's what it's written. I don't know what else to say. These are human rights violations of these doctors and INVEGA. We do our best in the society to succeed, but we can't because we're physically disabled to do so. Can't go for a run anymore, okay? Can't run, can't swim, can't do any cardiovascular. I start huffing and puffing after one set of 40 pounds an arm on a curl. I'll explain and show that to a minute, and out of breath. Or squat 50 or 100 pounds aside with dumbbells. Talking, it feels like I'm gasping for air every second. This is another side effect. The depression of looking in the mirror and seeing something I can't handle. These are psychological problems, and I'll show you a video of it in a second again. I used to care about life. Now I think I'm just being assaulted and being ran out of my country like a refugee. If I go to the States, I'm afraid it'll happen there because the amount of people there, and they're a joint force with Canada and United States and NATO and NORAD and North American Act of 9/11 since then. Homeland Security. They protect their air. Home of the brave. We're home of the free because of the home of the brave. That's the picture. Maybe I'll show that too. Sometimes it's like I stutter now because of this. Don't know if it's a smell or whatnot, like causing a migraine. I'm disappointed. Now I have to go back to the ombudsman who I have like 20 complaints and they just say, here, file it with these people now. They never do anything either. Mulligan's law firm in Victoria sent him something too. Went to school with the guy just so he can read it. Maybe you can tell me somebody to talk to too. Robert Yeo, same thing. Sent to the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, the Department of National Defense, Department of Social Services, Ministry of Health, a bunch of MPs like Michelle Rumpel from, I can't pronounce the name, Stephen Harper, all kinds of different people. Even Donald Trump and the White House, Barack Obama, the Vatican. Nothing ever happens. It's like I'm in a closed circuit talking to myself. I've tried everything to get some help. It's frustrating when everybody just assaults you like Harold Hootie, that he likes to be on a drug because he might get free money for being disabled and say he's going to university, which means indirectly he's working for the government of Canada and other people. When I babble on about human rights, it's not a Babylon. You can order it yourself. You just go to the human rights page, links down below, and you can order your own. Number 5, no torture. I'm being tortured every day. You assaulted me with a medication, okay? I'm not free anymore, number one. I live in slavery, I have no money, and you're forcing me to live this way. The right to life, I don't have any life anymore. You took that away. You're being discriminating. You never gave me a chance to have a decent job without workplace harassment as well. Number 6, you have the right no matter where you go. That's right. Just like the RCMP did to me, dragged me to the hospital with a gun. Watch the video. They got the gun, we don't. They got all the power and the backing. Hundreds of them, and 1 or 2 are me, and family violence against me too. The right to protection before and after the law. Number 8. Number 9, no unfair detainment. No unfair detainment. I was thrown in a psych ward and detained in this and detained in an unfit, fat, obese body now. The right to a fair trial. Well, sure, the doctor says this in 3 seconds. It's not a trial. He hasn't proved it in the court of law of any disability. They can't put it on a medical form or a criminal form, because to become a criminal and be thrown into a jail, you have to go to a trial. Ask O.J. Simpson. Yep, number 11. We're always innocent till proven guilty. Since Roman times, Caesar said that. Number 12, the right to privacy. They're not allowed to watch anything I do without live stream, meaning they can't do this thing I do with OBS on theirs. They can't be watching what I type and what that. The right to move, or right to movement. The right to move on your own 2 feet without the restrictions of some type of moving apparatus to hold you up to move, like a car, a bike, a skateboard. It's on your own 2 feet because you can't afford it. It's the only, your right to move is the right to movement. Just like the right to play, the right to expression. The right to seek a safe place. You don't feel safe in your own country, I guess I have to find a new one where these laws don't apply and you won't be overpowered. Where is that on earth that they're not all associated by the United Nations? Declaration of Human Rights signed in 1948. The right to a nation. The right to have a marriage, meaning nobody wants a poor man with a small dick either. The right to own things. Only thing you need in life is property and a job, because that camera, that fan, that bike behind me, the chair, the TV, the computer is worthless if I only have a shirt on my back. I can't carry it with me. If I ain't physically able to carry it and have the right to self-defense, that right to self-defense follows under number 12, the right to privacy, then I'm unable to do something. The right to move, to be able to be physically strong enough, and the right to health as well. The right to public assembly without any apparatuses of war against another person. To be able to speak like this in public, to talk, to have a group of people like Canada Day, where there's not a million law enforcement waiting for a riot to happen. That's right. Signs saying this is wrong. They assume something will happen. Why at Canada Day or Gay Pride, they don't have 100,000 cops out there guarding. The right to democracy, the right to choose your own leader. The right to social services, adequate enough to live by, like I said, slavery. The right to work, meaning the right to have fair wages to live by and not feel like a slave as well. The right to food and shelter that's affordable to live by as well. The right to an education when grade 12 is not enough to talk to a lawyer, doctor, or deal with the Health Professional Review Board. Okay? Expand something a bit here. Give myself a break from talking. Oh. It's a balmy 25, 27 degrees in here. I had tuna sandwiches for lunch. I don't want to turn on the oven and cook a chicken breast or cook myself a hamburger and boil some water for some pasta, because it'll raise it to about 32 degrees. Copyright protection, well, that's just like a book. It's just getting a little nonsense that we pay $150 for cable internet. We have the right to a fair world. Well, this tribunal, this procedure is a degrading and harming and a humiliating act that I have to do all this for all you people to see how humiliating and degrading it is if you don't have an education to deal with the Canadian government, American government, or any government of the world, and be assaulted and belittled by definitions of discrimination that harm you. You have the right to responsibility. What's responsibility? I want to run the country. That's the only responsibility thing I want to do. Be the commander of the world. I want to be what? Oh, Prince Charles, Prince Henry, and Prince William. You want to be the king of the world next and next and next. As well as the next heir, all William's kids, from top to bottom. I just want to be me and live my life and enjoy it, and maybe have kids and be responsible for raising my children properly. You know, human rights, or the Canadian thing says, it says in the links I have below in description. Your children come first. In family violence, it states that you can't neglect your kids of proper clothing and food to live in this society. That means our government can't neglect us of a proper fair wage so we can live in this society, so they're not discriminated against somebody rich or educated like a doctor or lawyer and be belittled by uncommon words that I wasn't used by. My disability is reading comprehension. I read something and don't understand it. I have to look at it and study the words, find the definitions in a dictionary or a thesaurus to try to figure out what it means. Hey, go away. If I have to say, excuse my words, fuck off, please fuck off and leave me alone and start using profanities, it's gone too far, hasn't it? I just gone postal because you refuse to use layman terms, common sense, and common words used to the common person to listen by. You refuse to listen. If I don't understand your speech, you're being ignorant to me. Doesn't matter if you're from India, China, Japan, France, Greece, doesn't matter your color. If I can't understand your accent, your tone, you're mumbling, just like my little brother Blair mumbled. I had to ask him to repeat himself, or stuttered, somebody else, then I can't deal with it. You got to spit out the words fast enough so somebody can understand it. Nobody has all day to sit there. If I have to go learn sign language, which you learned in Cub Scouts, they showed you a couple words like A, S, S. That's ass, right? They got a word for that. Or J, I. Hey, bonjour, madame. Bonjour, monsieur. That's all I learned from grade 3. After that, I never took it because of my learning disability. We're at number 30 on human rights. Nobody has the right to take them away from you. You on INVEGA who are listening, being assaulted by it. And that's the way it is. Like I said, the harm from INVEGA: obesity, 65 pounds, Abilify, 25 pounds. Before that, I had 6 months off of Abilify, then they threw me on that. They don't have the right to throw you on any type of medication. That's what it says. If I can find this really quickly, I will put that up too. I'll go to my videos here. I'm just looking on my display. I'm gonna shrink it so you can't see what I'm doing. Okie dokie. Here we go. But this is what I do. I don't have any, check this. No messages yet. Okay.
Well,
Okay, here we go. This is the INVEGA page. And we have to open it up a little more. Alright. A little bit on INVEGA. They took this one down. It was on another site. We're going to fly at it.
Welcome to INVEGA Trinza, paliperidone palmitate, the only treatment that helps control the symptoms of schizophrenia for 3 months with 1 dose. INVEGA Trinza is only available by prescription. Each dose is given by injection from a healthcare professional 4 times a year. INVEGA Trinza is designed to be released gradually in the body for 3 months. This ensures that you'll have a continuous amount of medication in your system, but with one less daily schizophrenia pill to worry about. INVEGA Trinza is not for everyone. It can cause serious side effects. Elderly patients with dementia taking INVEGA Trinza have an increased risk of death or stroke. INVEGA Trinza is not approved for dementia. Please see the important safety information at the end of this video. You're probably wondering how it works. There are a few steps to follow before you can begin taking INVEGA Trinza, so let's get started. First, after confirming you can tolerate the medication, your doctor will give you an injection of INVEGA SUSTENNA, paliperidone palmitate, followed by a second starting dose about 1 week later. If you're already on INVEGA SUSTENNA, starting doses are not necessary. INVEGA SUSTENNA, paliperidone palmitate, is used for the treatment of schizophrenia. INVEGA SUSTENNA can cause serious side effects, including an increased risk of death in elderly people who are confused, have memory loss, and have lost touch with reality, dementia-related psychosis. INVEGA SUSTENNA is not approved for treating dementia-related psychosis. Do not receive INVEGA Trinza or INVEGA SUSTENNA if you are allergic to paliperidone, paliperidone palmitate, risperidone, or any of the ingredients in INVEGA Trinza or INVEGA SUSTENNA. See end of the patient information.
You see what it just said? It says those drugs, they're all the same drugs.
Leaflet in the full prescribing information for a complete list of INVEGA Trinza and INVEGA SUSTENNA ingredients. INVEGA SUSTENNA is the same medication as INVEGA Trinza, but provides 1 month control of your schizophrenia symptoms. Adjustments to the amount of medication you receive can also be made by your doctor to make sure that it's effective and well tolerated. Only after being adequately treated with INVEGA SUSTENNA for at least 4 months, you and your doctor can discuss a transition to INVEGA Trinza. Your doctor can decide whether it's right for you. Only INVEGA Trinza is designed to be gradually released in your body over 3 months, so you only have to take it 4 times a year. This way, you can feel confident knowing the right amount of medication is in your system each day to give you longer-term schizophrenia symptom control. Think of it this way. Being on a daily pill is similar to a car with a small fuel tank. The car must stop daily to fill up its tank to keep going, in the same way that having to take a pill at the start of each day keeps the amount of medication working in your body. On the other hand, INVEGA Trinza is like a car with a larger fuel tank. That only has to be refilled once every 3 months. After 3 months, you'll receive your next INVEGA Trinza dose. This ensures that you'll have a continuous amount of medication in your system, but with 1 less daily schizophrenia pill to remember. The most common side effects of INVEGA Trinza include injection site reactions, weight gain, headache, upper respiratory tract infections, feeling restlessness or difficulty sitting still, slow movements, tremors, stiffness, and shuffling walk. Tell your healthcare provider if you have any side effect that bothers you.
You just hear that? Trouble of movement, can't run, walk, or breathe, your loss of low testosterone, you now have low testosterone instead of regular testosterone, shuffle movements, you lost your mobility right, and everything like that.
Or does not go away. Longer-term symptom, stiffness, and shuffling walk.
Went back, headaches, weight gain, upper respiratory tract infections. Well, you can't breathe, you're missing hormones, it's just like having asthma. Wow, everything I've gone through.
Tell your healthcare provider if you have any side effect that bothers you or does not go away. Longer-term symptom control with INVEGA Trinza means you have the chance to focus less on taking your medication and more on setting and working towards your treatment goals, whatever you, your doctor, and treatment team decide they are. Talk to your doctor and treatment team to see if INVEGA Trinza is right for you. Important safety information for INVEGA SUSTENNA and INVEGA Trinza. Indication: INVEGA Trinza 3-month paliperidone palmitate is a prescription medicine given by injection every 3 months by a healthcare professional and used to treat schizophrenia.
Okie That's the craziest thing. And hey, we all know this event too. And I don't want to put it up either. But I'm going to put it up for people who don't get listened to with schizophrenic problems or any type of psychiatric. This girl was 12 years old. Her name's Kathy, or Catherine Nicole Davis. I'm just putting the first 3 seconds up. She shouldn't have died. The cops didn't want to listen to it either. A woman who lived in, or a young lady who lived in poverty. I will stop it after a second. Like I said, you know what INVEGA does. Gynomasculus can also be reduced by stuff like Novadex or tamoxifen to help out people as well. Nobody wants gynomasculus boobs to look like men either. Okay? It's not fun when you can't take your shirt off anymore. If you'd like to help out, go to my Gofundme page. It'd be much appreciated. It's on the link as well. Anyway. And here's our Harold Hootie. He's on it as well. He's on the INVEGA page. He thinks it's a great drug and likes to say so too. He doesn't find any side effects. I'm putting him up just for him. He's from Manitoba in college at the University of Brandon. And here's another one. His name's Chris, Australia.
Good morning from Adelaide, South Australia. You want to know my thoughts on INVEGA? Well, basically these drugs are brain disabling neurotoxins, you know. They're dangerous.
Anyway, exactly what he says. They're dangerous. Alright? We have nothing more to say. But this is a violation of human rights. It's causing more harm than good. That man's been on Risperdal all that time. When I go to my pages, I look around, and I can tell you that it isn't funny to be assaulted by a government who's belittling somebody like that Indiana Jones video I started with. Well, they have the guns, we're standing there, they're shooting us. Just like the Nazis, excuse my languages, as well. You can go to the cchr.org page and read all the psychiatrics as well. Just like this way, chemical lobotomy of growing numbers of children are being prescribed antipsychotics for ADHD, killing children. The link's below, okay? Ask guy patient, hundreds of people who have side effects from suicide to obesity to not being able to move as well. Arnold Lipke is a law firm. They wouldn't have a law firm for lawsuits against INVEGA or Risperdal. It's right here. You go to the blue part, you click it, and it says they just won a case for $76.6 million for a Risperdal case for people with gynecomasculine. It's all in there. It's no word of a lie, proving it's already too much harm for a human being. Also, you look at other pages as well, law firms in Canada and so forth. The human rights page, like I said, CCHR, they don't have the right, it says right off the bat, of all this stuff. Right to exercise, don't get the right exercise, clean environment, safe environment, people my own age, and so forth. They don't have the right to detain you without a trial. Just like I said, human rights. I showed you that book and told you all about it. Okay? All the links are below. That's why I'm showing it. It's a little longer than what I expected, but I had to put it up so you can see. You can go to the other page on the CCHR, and it tells you all about their stuff. Okay, that was a CCHR page. Go back to my photo albums where all my information is, as well as the INVEGA page on Facebook. Oh, it's loading a little weird, hey? Slowing down. So I just do this. Anyhow, we need to bring some more human dignity back to the people. The breach of trust and of not harming somebody in a medical practice, the rules of medical ethics, I shall not harm those with any treatment in any way. We don't need chemical warfare like they did in and tested these drugs in World War II, the Nazis to the Jewish people, sterilization and harming of people. I don't want to be a dick and say that it's like them, because it is like them. Just like Dr. Freeman using the lobotomy was there beforehand, they just didn't call it a lobotomy. It probably significated by holes in the head, bleeding of the mind and all that kind of stuff. When they had an injury, they'd bleed somebody to death, like King Henry or whatnot. Practices that just didn't work. When I'm talking about low testosterone and stuff like that, we can go to sites like this too. It's called Duffy Medical Hormone Replacement. Men and women need it in life. Why? Because that's what it says. Men and women. Lack of hormones, you can also go to their site too, and it says hair restoration. It's a hormone missing in their head called testosterone as well. That's why men's hairs fall out. Hair palette things. It explains it all there as well. And it also states that diabetes too is the leading cause of it is low testosterone as well. These are all facts, not fiction and made up theories. It's already proven right there. Diabetes 2 and low testosterone, and it tells you all about it as well. I don't ramble on. And I got things from, is this up still too? We'll find out. Low testosterone kills by ABS News. That's a false news and accusations if it wasn't true, right? So they have to be true. Over and over again, all these links I provided for you, you just have to look at it. Ethics, laws, the different websites, even the definition of manslaughter and thesaurus pages and everything else like that. And oh yeah, we find out too in the Dietitians of Canada, the leading cause for mental health is a lack of food nutrition. That's right, a lack of food nutrition. Like I'm making stuff up if the government's already figured out right here that it says lack of nutrition is a leading cause of mental illness. It has the dietitian thing here. Learn more, dietitian view. You go here and you look for women nutrition, mental health nutrition, Aboriginal nutrition, and athletic nutrition. They're missing out the kid one for some reason too. They need protein so their brain grows and they grow up to be a human being. Our first foods in life were proteins, not bread and water, because how many years did it take for us to create wheat into flour and then eat it as a substance? Okay? Like I said, I got this INVEGA page. You can sign up at any time you want as well. It's right here in the corner. INVEGA, paliperidone, side effects, harm from. Look it up on Facebook. I'll put the link in the description after this is done as well. Alright, close that up. I'm going to go to, don't need to go to any pictures any more than that. As you see. Little fix me up here. We're gonna shrink the screen so I'm back on there. Okay. And yeah, you see the big fat belly? It used to be a lot skinnier and whatnot. Okay, you're gonna see my huffing and puffing. Like I said, return human dignity. Register with the cchr.org. They'll send you this information, quick little thing. They send you a nice little letter stated to you. You can buy their videos or find them on my webpage as well that people downloaded as well. Okay, you can do the same thing with human rights. This is a simple 20-pound warm-up. I'm already out of breath. Okay. I've never been like that in my life. Supposed to take a break, 30 to 20 seconds. I'm going to do it the best I can, 3 sets. And like I said, I'm out of breath completely. I've never been like this. I'd love to go for a 10-kilometer run on a treadmill, 3 kilometers at a level 8 to 12 on it. And it's a Cybex treadmill down at the CRA, but I can't do it. Because why? I can't physically run. I tried to go in there right after getting off INVEGA. I'd go down to 7-Eleven, then I'd go there. 15 minutes, I was dead tired. Couldn't even touch the weights. I just don't have the mobility. It took another 2 years to do it before I picked up my dumbbells. like I said, completely out of breath. Just doing a warm-up for the first 2 sets. Alright? This is not exercise, it's not over an hour. I used to be able to do this like nothing. Now it's a struggle. Oh, I'm just too tired. I'm pooped. Unfit. I'm not going to do anymore. I'm losing my breath. Frank just walked by the window. You saw him. He's the guy who uttered threats and indecent acts. He's done it ever since off of meds. Like I said, I've done my best. It's a side effect. I have no physical ability to defend myself in self-defense if I need be, or get in a ruckus. Fuck. It's 27 degrees in this room, and it's absolute bullshit. Here, I'll go get the thermometer on that one too. And, well, I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know what else to say. INVEGA is a trifling experience that I wouldn't recommend anybody. It's like jumping off a cliff and having no water to jump into and being splatted on the ground. It's like being curb stomped. It's like being shot in a court-martial by your government and not having a trial. It's like being executed and assassinated, just like Why People Go Postal by Billy the Kid. Yeah, you heard me. Why People Go Postal by Billy the Kid. He's a doctor who's, what do you call it? Where is he from? Australia. He's retired. And he deals with relationship stuffs now, I understand, in his retirement ages. But Why People Go Postal the Kid, it's a set standard of code. You have a good life, they slowly take it away from you, just like hours. You start out with 40, then they slowly cut you back till there's not enough to live by the wages, and then you don't have a job, then you're living on the street. I'm just kind of looking for it right now. Maybe I'll show it real quick too. It's in the links too. And it basically says it's a government or a group of people executing human beings using post-traumatic stress syndrome and different types of psychological assaults being crimes of genocide against you. So you clinically jump up and down and rage, causing you harm or somebody else harm in society. Wow. I've used all this in my videos before when I had to use Microsoft's system in doing it. That's all I had, so it didn't work that great in some senses. Like I said, I'm still trying to gain my breath here, and here we go. Why People Go Postal by Billy the Kid. Alright. This is the starting page. It's hubpages.com health/postal. That's the thing. Why People Go Postal by Billy the Kid. And it states, it seems like the copycat thing to do. Grab a gun and shoot everyone around you. I'm a shrink. I get asked, why do people do this? It's simple, but you would have had to have been pretty hard pressed your life, your family, your job, your being threatened for you to understand it. But let me try to explain it anyways. You can strip a person of most anything, and they will figure that they can pick up things up again, go start over again. So people move on after disasters like tornadoes and smash their homes in an instant. That's because they are resistant and have the support of friends and family. But things of what I would feel like if someone assassinated your identity, the very core of your being that makes you feel like you. You would feel alone, right? If you don't, have you identified assassination is one of those core issues behind going postal. In order to imagine this, let's say that put everything into your job. You try hard to advance. You keep track of every detail. Your boss has a top dog, underdog list. At the top is an employee who's the boss uses as an example of how a good employee does things. This person gets all the extra training and gets to go to all the conferences, conventions, or conferences. At the other end of the list is the people the boss singles out, workplace harassment. Meeting when says this is not how things are done, or how to do things. Adding words in there, eh? Now let's say you end up on the underdog list. You don't know why you are singled out at meetings, at being the slacker. Doesn't the boss realize you're already donating an extra 5 hours a week to the job, driving time or whatnot, staying a couple extra hours, showing up early, have the most responsibilities, and get the lowest pay? What's with this? What you don't understand is the boss wants to take credit for everyone's work in order to advance. You, however, stand out too much. You're making even the boss look lazy. But even you talk to your so-called friends at work. They're just other employees, right? Not friends, job acquaintances. They give you a blank stare. They're worried about, as much as you, about losing their jobs as well. But they say they don't know what to tell you. You feel sick, like you've got a black hole eating away in your stomach. And it keeps going on. I'm a lousy reader, as you can tell, plus I'm reading off a screen. You feel ripped off. The freaking boss has stolen all those years of work from you. Those years in which the job made you as somebody. You suddenly get angry and stomp around your house. You scream about how you're going to kill the boss. But strangely, you hear the words, makes you feel better, because you're just talking to yourself. I guess that's what he means. You calmly get a gun and get in your car. You stuff the gun in your bag and you enter the office, catching sight of the boss. You laugh. You pull out the gun and suddenly feel blissful. as the boss stares down the barrel at you. I'll let you read the rest. But you go to work and they gradually take your hours and make you feel like shit because workplace harassment, always insinuating that somebody's doing a better job in life than you, instead of making your life better. You try your hardest, you go to work, you get an hourly wage, and that's all it should be. I'm a lousy reader to take on forever. I wish you all the best. Look through the information, the description's underneath. If you'd like to look at it, look at it. If you'd like to leave a message, leave a message. I don't know what else to say. In the Comox Valley, it's a... there you go. That guy walks by all the time. Blue skies, little sun, that means, and a little bit of clouds. So remember, look at your human rights. Remember, INVEGA's side effects are trifling, they're degrading, belittling, you'll never be the same again, and you always feel assaulted by your government and the doctors who've done it. It's a lethal injection and capital punishment. Just read Ask I Patient like I showed you, and read every link. A sex change drug takes away your natural hormones and makes you less, and then they call you a transgender man if you go from having testosterone to no testosterone. And because you get gynecomastia, means estrogen is put in there, or prolactin, they call it. It's not good. When your heartbeat is beating faster than it was just from that little bit of exercise as well, means there's not enough blood in your body, especially when you used to do 100 meters in like 11 seconds, run 3 kilometers in 15 minutes, a mile in 5:19, swim lap after lap as a young person or whenever you'd like to, and just do any activity physically when you wanted to. Carry a 75-pound backpack and walk around and live on the street for 2 years and whatnot. You're right on mobility, you're unable to walk anymore, you're detained in a lifestyle or a fat suit that you don't want to be in anymore. There's not muscle forming under it, it's a myth. If you're physically unable and you're just sitting there and all you're doing is walking, you're not going to make any muscle. To make muscle, you have to eat proper, tons of proteins, just like Dietitians of Canada tells you, 1 gram of protein per body pound per meal. Go through the information, I'm not lying. It's an assault to your life. It's belittling and degrading, and there's nothing I can say more than that. Our government is treating this and just making it more even harder to live. Like I said, our life seems like it's over. I woke up this morning and my legs could barely friggin' walk. The heels of my feet are sore, and small of my back, every joint hurts all the time. And I'm going to end it again with this. How our Canadian government or governments of the world under the United Nations, the Declaration of Human Rights since 1948, stopping Nazism and total rule of power in a military stance, shoot and ask questions later and make them go through this belittling ordeal. They're Indiana Jones with the gun, and we're the other person. There you go. Ross Jason Boehm Live. INVEGA side effects update. Check your human rights. Register at cch.org. Tell them your concerns and assaults, and ask I Patient, and join and help out on Gofundme if you can, or privately send it to my address if you ask me for my address. thank you very much. Have a great day. And yeah, this June the 20th, 2018, and our Comox record for yesterday. Still having a hard time breathing. Stopping my streaming and recording as of now. Ross Jason Boehm line. This ain't bullshit.